Hey, it's Wednesday night, and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. We want to thank Blue Jeans Pizza for providing the pizza for the players and the coach. And it's time for Rebel Wrap Up on FYNTV.com every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. I'm here with head coach Jim Pavo. We also are going to have in with us tonight offensive coordinator Justin Pierce. We have outside linebacker Chris Cornio is one of our guests tonight. Dylan Breedlove, the left tackle, is with us, and Drake Pugh, the receiver. Don't forget, folks, on Friday nights, follow us on Twitter. You can follow Daniel Jones on Twitter at FetcherNews.com, hashtag Team Sports, and also hashtag Fan of Football. Daniel Jones is on the sideline for FetcherNews.com for the Fan of Rebels every Friday night, and he's tweeting out highlights. So you can, if you can't be at the game, you can follow the game on Team Sports at FetcherNews.com. Also, by the way, Daniel Jones, his Team Sports writer player of the week is Chris Cornios, and congratulations to him. We're going to get started here, and before we do with Coach Pavo, it's 0-0, folks. It is time to play region football, and there's nothing better going into the fall of the year. Today's first day of fall, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed
no, it's not.
You're supposed to know that.
No, it's not.
You sure?
I'm positive. No,
huh?
No.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
I thought it was today.
It's tomorrow.
See, I almost
Equinox, right?
I tried to catch him, right? But no, there's nothing better, folks, than watching and following high school football in North Georgia in the fall of the year. Fannin is 2-2 before they get into region play on the season, and they're coming off a big win, 42-0 over Andrews last Friday night. We're talking 3A region 7 football, Region 7, 3A Region 7. There's a home game. Let me just get some of this out of the way. There's a home game this Friday night. You can start the region, help out, and come support the Fannin Rebels. They're playing North Hall at 7:30. Before we get started, for those of you that don't know who all is in Region 7, 3A Region 7, that's Union County. They're sitting at 4-0. North Hall, 3-1. Greater Atlanta Christian, 3-1. Dawson, 1-1. Fannin, 2-2. And East Hall, 2-2. Lumpkin County, 1-2. And that's how the region breaks up. Coach, hey guys, glad to have everybody here tonight. Friday night against Andrews, you got to pull most of the starters, a good portion of the starters, and play some other guys in that second half. Is that good to be able to see those guys?
It's to me, it's an opportunity to develop depth and see players, that younger players that maybe aren't normally playing on Friday, playing in a varsity game, and kind of start projecting them. Can they help us this year? How far are they off before they could help us? Or whether it's later in the season or next year, and just gives an opportunity to reward guys that come into practice working hard every day, and also at the same time, some of the older guys, it's just a few less bings and bangs that they're getting, and maybe hopefully we're a little healthier this week than we were for last week.
Guys, this past Friday night and the 4 games into the season, talk a little bit about some of the adjustments you've made, Chris, some of the things that you guys seen as far as your defense the first 4 games as coming together, getting ready for region play in this season.
Well, a lot of adjustments I've made. We have 2 injured players. One's back, Andrew's back, and Jeffrey Whitmire's out. And, we just got to play with a lot of intensity. It's 0-0 now, so we're starting all over, and it's just we got to play. We got to show up and play.
What about yourself on the first 4 games? Because that's what we're focusing on. I know you guys had a big win against Andrews, and I know that felt good. But the first 4 games of this season, do you guys think you made all the adjustments? You think you did most of the things that you needed to do to get ready for region play this year?
Well, the first 4 games, like you said earlier, is 0-0, and like Chris was saying, I think the first 4 games are where we need to show our improvement, and I think we still have some adjusting to do on the offense as a whole. And it, like Chris said, it's time to play. It's time to be more focused on what we was for these first 4 games going into the region.
Coach, let's go back just about the last 2 years coming into this year, because you have actually said yourself, you're the one that's brought it up, that this is the year that you need to finish, right?
Yeah.
You've said that yourself.
Yeah, we've been working hard. The kids been working hard for 2+ years, and we've been close to jumping over that last hurdle, and we really need to jump over that last hurdle. Now we're in a situation right now where we're playing a good football team. It's a good football program in North Hall coming up, first region game, and it's an opportunity for us to really measure ourselves, and an opportunity for us to beat a good football team. And you want to get off to a fast start where you're 1-0 in the region, because now you're in the same situation where you're controlling your own destiny, as compared to now you lose the first game and now you're hoping somebody else loses, and you're looking for other people. You win that first game, you're right on the right track, and you're just kind of going from there.
Well, talking about the last 2 years and this year, share with us and our viewers where you feel as a coach this team is getting ready to start your first region game compared to the last 2 years. I mean, last 2 years you had 4 games, you went into region. Where do you feel you're at as far as?
I think we're a little bit ahead of where we were last year. I mean, I think offensively we're moving the football, and we're putting a lot of points on the board these last 3 weeks, and I think we're continuing to improve offensively, moving the ball. We've got to clean some things up, like Dylan was talking about, as far as like with penalties or missed assignments, and you're always trying to improve. But I think we're better right now as an offense than we were at this time last year. I think special teams. I think we're playing better special teams than at any time in the past 2 years. So I'm really happy with the special teams effort right now. We need to keep that up, and make that a positive, not just to play even with folks, but try to win games in the special team area. And then defensively, we've had some guys hurt. We're moving guys around. We're trying to develop. We're trying to kind of find our identity, I guess you could say, defensively. And we had a nice step last week where we did not play an offense that was really a strong offense, but talk to the kids about doing your job, and you can't control what the other team is. You can play good, though, against a good team or a bad team, but you can play bad against either. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
You can sit there and say, well, hey, we gave up no points, but it was only because they were horrible. But last week I felt we gave up no points. They weren't great on offense, but we were doing what we were supposed to be doing on defense. So we gave them no opportunities, and that's what you really got to do. And if you're playing a good offense like we'll play this week with North Hall, then the same thing. You've got to play, control what you're doing. I mean, you got proper alignments, proper adjustments, as far as coverages, get off blocks, move the football. They're going to move the football on you some, but you can't not give them plays. You've got to make them earn every yard they get.
Drake, as far as a receiver and working with Brad this year, have you seen some things with the receivers that everybody seems to be starting to come together and ready for region play? I mean, do you guys feel that that's happening?
Yes, sir. I feel like we hold each other accountable more. Like if someone drops the ball, we pick each other up, and we're more like a family instead of we're better than a team. We're like a family, And I just feel like we're more ready for it than we were at the beginning of the year, because we know it's getting to the time to where we have to really dig in and win games. So
you can make it easy, just not drop the ball.
Exactly.
All right.
That's
true. I mean, Drake, I'll see if he's awake over there, Coach. But no, at this time of the year, 4 games in, you have to start knowing that your entire receiver core out there is getting in a good gel with the quarterback. I know Brad's a senior; he's been throwing to several of the guys for past couple years, and just wanted to know if you guys are starting to really get into sync with each other. And I like the way you put that. And you feel that's happening, ready?
Yes, sir.
Offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, we've, ever since our sophomore year, well, mine, Hunter Davis's, and River's sophomore year, we've all been on the offensive line together. And mostly me and Red have this communication on the line whenever we're in a game. Like if we're pass blocking or whatever, we ain't even got to say anything to each other. We just look at each other and we'll know, well, I've got him, you've got him. And I think it's like a close bondage between me, him, and River, and Bradley Flowers and Clay, to where we know, well, you have what our assignments are, and we ain't really even got to say anything to each other about it. We just do it.
Well, and the reason I asked you about the offensive line is because you've been out in front of Brad for the last couple years, and you know this region, what you're getting ready to go up against. And these are good football teams. This is a balanced region.
Yes, it's strong.
I know a lot of the regions within the state, they try to do everything to balance them, but you're playing a good region. So that's why I wanted to ask you. We're going to come back, continue to talk to these guys here. We are getting into region football play here. So it is time. If you haven't been paying attention, it's time now. And we're going to start tightening down the screws watching these high school football games on Friday night. You can follow FetcherNews.com. You can follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews, hashtag Team FYN Sports, hashtag Fan and Football. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching Rebel Wrap Up from right here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Thank you, Blue Jeans, for the pizza for the players and coach right here at Blue Jeans in downtown Blue Ridge. I'm your host. We'll be back right after this.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
The summer sell-down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited, now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell-down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hey, and we're back. You're watching Rebel Wrap Up here on Wednesday night at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Want to thank Blue Jeans. I might have to change that up to get that to go and work. Blue Jeans Pizza. But we're here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge, Rebel Wrap Up, and we're here with offensive coordinator Justin Pierce and also head coach Jim Pavo. We're talking 3A Region 7 football because it is time. Region play starts this Friday night, and it's 0-0. come out and support the Fannin Rebels. They'll be against North Hall. North Hall will be coming over to Fannin. Game time 7:30. So come out and support the team this Friday night. Coach Pierce, let me go with you because we are trying to talk about going into region play Friday night. It is time now. It all counts. Not that it didn't, but it all counts Friday night. Talk about your offense. Last 2 years, getting into this year, where you stand in Game 4 going into region. How do you feel with some of the adjustments?
Yeah, for us, luckily for us on offense, we've got a lot of older guys that have played a lot. Dylan was talking about it earlier. You've got 3 offensive linemen that have started pretty much since they were sophomores, or at least got playing time. Brad is a senior, Jacob Reese is a senior, Cooper's a senior. So we've got a lot of older guys over there. So, we feel like as long as we continue to improve and fix the little things that we're doing wrong and not hurting ourselves, we feel like we've got a pretty good chance on offense. Going into region play with North Hall, they've got a great program. They've got tradition. They're extremely well coached, and they've got kids that, just play really, really hard. At times probably play above their heads because they are used to winning, and, they're coached up real well. So, for us offensively, again, it's kind of like I say every week, to me, it's up to us. If we do what we're supposed to do, then I think we're going to be fine. If we start doing little things that hurt us, then we can put ourselves behind the 8 ball and not be able to execute and do what we want to do. But as long as we focus and just execute what we ask them to execute, I think offensively we have a chance to score points against pretty much anybody that we line up against. So
going North Hall coming into town Friday night, looking at their defense, what kind of defense are you up against?
Another good thing, they're pretty similar to what we do defensively. So they line up, in a 3-4 defense for the most part. They do some other things, but for the most part, they are that. They're real big up front. They've got some real big, strong guys there. I feel like they're real athletic at outside linebacker. They got probably one of their best football players playing outside linebacker for them. And they do. They just play extremely hard. They really get after it. They're physical. They're flying to the football and just play. They're just a good football team overall. So, we got our hands full, but, like I said, I feel like if we just do what we can do, then we'll be all right.
Well, obviously in high school football, I'm going to stay with you just a minute here on the offense because I do know, like this young man over here, you have several on the front line. They've been there for several years for you. Brad's back there he's a senior this year. So when you're in high school football, and especially 3A, you're graduating X amount of kids, bringing some up, but you've been able to work with a core group, bringing them and growing that side of the ball.
Yeah, we have.
Is it something that I guess would I say enjoyable knowing that you can work on the wins by missed assignment, stuff like that, not work so much on getting these guys to gel because that's kind of behind you?
I think the advantage it gives to us is schematically we can do a lot of different things. Not saying we do a whole lot of different things, but we can line up a lot of different ways and execute things because these guys have done it. So it's not like it's brand new to them.
Right.
They had done it the year before, or maybe they did it the year before that. So there's some things that just go ahead and click in their mind. So then it's just at that point, just repping it a few times and making sure we know what to do. So by having those guys that have had a lot of time, they handle things a lot better. When you're teaching them new things and maybe installing new things, or they've seen this coverage before, or they've seen this blitz before, and they know our calls and our checks and all those things. So by having those guys that have played and had a lot of time, that really does help because they do. They pick things up. It's not like you're not starting from scratch and having to reteach and redo.
Exactly.
So those guys do. They do a really good job of picking those things up, and they're all, luckily for us, I feel like offensively, some pretty smart guys, and that helps. We've got some guys that are intelligent guys, and they handle things real well.
Let me go back to you, Dylan, because the same question for you, and you were talking about earlier. You have played these teams that you're getting ready to go in this region play. You guys have played these teams, and is there a part like you go back and you can go in the huddle and say, you know what, we knew what to expect here. We knew the team we were going up against, and we know what we have to do. Is there that feeling? We know what we have to do Friday night. We know who we're facing.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly how it is. We as offensive line, we talk about games whenever we talk about the teams we're about to face. As I know I'm just saying offensive line because we all hang out as a group at all times. But like I said, we all we'll get together and we'll talk about, hey, we got this team, we got Lumpkin, Union, Dawson, and we're all like, oh, you remember that kid from last year or the year before?
Right.
I know how his moves are. I know when he's trying to like fake me, so I'll mess up and he'd go around me or something. So we know we kind of have a basis on who is already going to be in front of us, unless they have already graduated or they're injured. So.
And am I right? Does it make it, would I say, easier for you guys to maybe come back in the huddle and look at each other and check each other and like, we know this is coming, guys, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like we shouldn't be caught off guard with what just happened, or you can make the adjustment a lot faster than years in the past if necessary.
Oh yeah, whenever we are in the huddle, which we're not a huddle team, but like if we're talking about it and saying, well, hey, you know, you shouldn't, if you did mess up, you shouldn't have messed up right there because we've watched film, we've played them before, we know who they are, we know like their tricks and everything. And if you did mess up, watch film on the sideline and correct it.
Well, Coach, I wanted to talk to these guys a lot here, and this young man here is really saying, he's explaining the work that's been put in.
Right.
He really is. You're doing a great job there. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask the same question we ask every week of these young men, and we're going to wrap up and talk about, ask Coach what we're looking at this Friday night against North Hall. Let him talk a little more about the competition coming into town. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching Rebel Wrap Up on FYNTV.com. Don't forget, it's that easy, FYNTV.com. Circuit World, Blue Ridge, and Blue Jeans Pizza. Take us a break there, Cole.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited, now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down, going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hey, and we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching FYNTV.com, and you're watching Rebel Wrap Up every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's time for region football. It will be fall Friday night in high school football in North Georgia. You can't beat it. Come out 7:30. Support these guys up against North Hall coming to town 7:30 here at home. Chris, I'm going to start with you. You know, I always say if you don't own it, you can't fix it. So when you come off the field last Friday night, even though it was a big game, it doesn't matter. I tell guys all the time, you may have played what you feel is the most perfect game you could have ever played, but believe it or not, Monday there's something you need to go work on. It doesn't matter. You always have something you got to work on. So when you went to practice Monday morning, what did you say Monday? Hey, I can do better at. What could you do better at this week? What are you working on?
You know, there's always something that you can work on no matter what game you play. Really for me, like last week, they were running with a tight end. I got to be lower. I got to be more physical with that tight end because they're a lot bigger than they were last week. and a lot more physical. So I just got to be ready for that, do my keys. And, I had a few missed assignments, and I got to clean those up, and I've been working on those over the practices this week. And, I think I'm ready. I'm good to go.
Good. Mr. Drake Pugh, receiver.
Sir.
Same question. What are you working on this week? What do you need to improve at? What do you need to challenge yourself about this week in practice?
I need to run my routes harder and do better at blocking. Just as a whole, I need to do better because I don't think that I played as hard as I could every play. And this week I've tried to work on that.
Okay, all right. Dylan, say for you, what about you and your personal? What are you personally working on this week that you focused on?
It's not just the last game. It's honestly been all season. I realized that my footwork is slacking and my hand placement. When we came out on Monday, we worked on the ladder for at least 15-20 minutes constantly and working on plays and plays and plays. And when the defensive end is on me and when they pinch in, I need to do better on sealing that where they don't shoot in between me and the guard. So mainly my footwork, my hand placement, and calling out the backers where they at, so the other offensive linemen will know their assignments as well.
Coach, Friday night when we get up in the stands and the place is packed, what kind of team you got coming to town on both sides of the ball? What do you have to look for? What do these guys have to look for
like
Friday
Coach
night?
Pierce said, defensively they're 3-4, and I think he kind of got into that with them. They're real aggressive, and they're going to get after you, and they run the ball well. Offensively, they're wing T. They are kind of old school wing T, and they're going to give you a lot of formations, a lot of down blocks and pulling guards. They've got a really good fullback, number 27. He's a senior. Quarterback's a good football player, throws the ball fairly well, but really managed the offense really well. Great ball fake. There's times where he's faking a fullback, and you think the fullback's got it, and he's giving it to the halfback, or he's giving it to the fullback, and he fakes to the halfback, and you think the halfback's got it, and so he does he's a great ball fake. You'll see, they're gonna try and run the ball inside, and then when you get all sucked inside, they're gonna bounce it to the outside. They're not gonna throw it much, but when they do throw it, they're usually throwing to the fullback, or they're gonna throw it deep. And so you've got a good, an offense that kind of comes at you. You've got to really, really be focused on your keys. If you're sitting there looking in the backfield, looking at the ball, you're not going to know what's going on. If you've got whatever position you're playing, you've got to read your keys, and you got to believe your keys, and you've got to play hard, play really disciplined. You got to play really disciplined on defense because they're really disciplined on offense. And I've told our guys we've got to play low, play physical. Because to me, they're a team that plays. They play hard, they play physical, they play low, and they play with a lot of discipline. And the only way you're going to beat a team like that is if you match that. If you play low, you play hard, you play physical, and you play discipline. So you've got to beat them at their own game, basically. But they're a good football team overall. Got a good kicker. He's going to kick the ball in the end zone on kickoffs most of the time. Field goal, he's got the ability to kick a 45-plus yard field goal. He's got a strong leg. So again, in the special teams area, we feel we've got good kickers and punters, and so we've got to match that and somehow figure out a way to even excel at that. So you're going to see a team that come in here that's well coached, that plays hard, and our goal is that we're going to play discipline and play hard and match that, and it should be a great football game.
So they would like to suck in an outside linebacker and not get him to stay home.
Correct. That's the whole. That's it. And really, you're doing. You're trying to put in this offense. They try to put a lot of pressure on the outside linebackers. With down blocks and kick out blocks and bootlegs and things of that nature. So you've got to play. You got to play well at all positions. But at the outside linebacker position, you've got to really control that CD gap area. If you don't control that CD gap area and on flow away, if you control bootlegs and counters and reverses at the outline, then they can really be a handful. If you control those things, then all of a sudden now they're going to start fishing for what they need to do.
And I know you guys are unified in that linebacker, that whole core back there, as Coach has said in the past, that you guys are probably the best linebacking core that he's had put together in a long time.
Yeah, here. I've been in 3 years I've been here. This is the best group, and so we're real proud of them.
Well, guys, we wish you well. Friday night, it's time to play region football, and I know you're ready. I know throughout the several years, and this year you've prepared yourself. Play between the lines and between the whistle, right?
Sir.
And don't make yellow your favorite color.
There you go.
There you go, right? Between the lines, between the whistle, and don't take home nothing yellow, all right? Coach, wish you well for your first region game.
Thank you.
I'm your host, BKP. You've been watching Rebel Wrap Up on FYNTV.com. Come out. The Fannin Rebels are going to be hosting North Hall Friday night at 7:30. And that is 3A, Region 7. And Circuit World Blue Ridge, Blue Jeans Pizza. Go in and tell Blue Jeans Pizza you thank them for supporting the Fannin Rebels and so many things throughout the community. I'm your host, BKP, and we'll see you back next week. Don't forget, Friday night, Daniel Jones will be tweeting out if you can't make the game, or if you're there and you want to follow it anyway, at Fetcher News on Twitter, hashtag Team FYN Sports, hashtag Fannin Football. And tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Good Morning from the Office with me, BKP, FYNTV.com. Get out of here. I'm done. That's it.